I hope this isn't just a 6-episode arc to get Bucky the shield, because they're going to retcon, the end of Endgame. And that's what it's starting to shape up. That this whole thing is just to get Bucky the shield. And I kind of want more out of it than just that.
I don't think
I want that to happen, but I think he will.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I think Sam will end up with it.
I think so.
He's got no use for it. He's got fucking.
He's gonna go work on a shrimp boat. Like
He can't pay it off. It's too expensive.
That's what he's got to go do. He's got to go work.
He could sell his wings and buy 1,000 shrimp boats.
Well,
he needs them.
You probably can't technically sell those or government property.
True. But this is another thing. He's obviously talented enough because he did the repair work on his wings. All he got to do is do some contract work, do a little coding. If you can repair Stark Tech, I'm sure you can get a little side gig
for that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
No, I don't think Sam's going to end up with S.H.I.E.L.D. because he has no use for it. Right? Because he's got wings, he's got Red Wing, he's got missiles, he's got machine guns. He's got no use for a shield. You got to give Bucky the shield, one, because he's the first person Cap gave the shield to in the comic books. And two, he doesn't have anything else. You can't give Sam all the toys. Let Bucky have the shield.
I don't think
he deserves the shield. Because in his heart, Bucky is Steve Rogers. In his heart. And he wants to come back to be who he was. And you give him the shield and let him be the new Cap, because in his heart he is Steve Rogers. He's not trying to take over as Captain America, because he and Steve were buddies. They grew up. They had the kind of the same thing. They just took two different roads. Give him the shield, let him become Cap. I think that's what they're going to do. I just hope that's not all what this is about. Is retconning a poor choice at the end of Endgame.
Don't worry, because he's not getting the shield.
Okay.
I mean, they're playing up the whole, Isaiah, right?
Well, they can't give him the shield because he's older than shit.
Giving him the shield, but they're playing up the whole how America,
Yeah,
put
I've read
him
the
in
articles.
jail.
The original MCU revealed their original sin. It's like,
so they put him in jail and experimented on him, and then this is where the new threat has come from. And I think Sam will pick it up to try and rewrite that history.
I think Sam will want to rewrite that history and do right by Isaiah and a lot of the other soldiers. But I think Sam is going to recognize in Bucky, because they never got along, that in Bucky is what was in Cap that made Steve Rogers who he was. And he's going to give Bucky the shield and complete both their characters. And then go on. And or do they end up going rogue at the end of this again? But good rogue, not bad rogue.
No. If Bucky ends up with a shield, he is not Captain America. Sam, at the end of this, is Captain America. If Bucky ends up with a shield, he'll be what Walker is, in the comics. Walker is U.S.
He'll be
agent.
Captain Falcon.
Yeah, he'll be Captain America. like he became in the comic book. He's Captain America.
That'll be
Falcon became Captain America?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him taking on the outfit, which is what Captain America stood for. And I want Bucky to have the shield, because in Bucky is who the Steve Rogers half of Captain America. And Falcon can be the stoic, standing by right part of the outfit of Captain America. I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with... Can you imagine what that would look like with Falcon with his wings and his 2 machine guns and Red Wing floating over his shoulder, and he's holding a shield, and standing next to him is his compatriot Bucky with nothing.
I think he's about to show us exactly what it looks like. Yeah, it seems weird to me. I think now that the more I think about it, I think that it's going to have to be Sam. I almost thought, because they get blown up and there's like fumes going everywhere in that lab, is like, did they get exposed to like super soldier serum right there? And it's subtle, so it's not going to make Sam like
I love it.
Any buffer or anything, but maybe he takes on some super soldier qualities.
I would be totally okay with them injecting Sam, just so they can explain away a lot of his over penis.
Spoilers.
Well, we won't show that then.
Yeah, but I could definitely see them like trying to say they got some kind of abilities or powers out of there, and that would give Baron Zemo a little bit of strength, and that would give Sharon Carter a little bit of strength. Probably wouldn't do anything extra to Bucky. I wouldn't expect, but you could, not full super soldier, but a little like enhanced or whatever. Not that she needs it, because apparently she's like.
Baron was in there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody was in that room. I wish they would have shown how he got out.
Well, there's no formula though. He said there was. I mean, he could have been lying, but he said there was no formula.
There's a lot of bottles of something in there.
I mean, he was. I mean, he may have been working on starting more since it got stolen.
Yeah, I mean, he's had time because the story arc is at least like a month or so. Like you're seeing them travel across the world. That takes time, and back and forth and all that stuff. We know that the Flag Smashers have been out there for a while, and they're probably not really doing anything until they're super soldiers. Like they probably, I assume they stole the stuff, took it, and then started fulfilling those roles. It's like, hey, we can do whatever we want.
I wonder if the Sam's little handler or whatever in the first episode, when he said these have been popping up, and he showed him the AR or whatever, popping up all over the place. If he said how long, they've been tracking them, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think it was a little while.
I mean, it's obviously been, it's got to be some amount of time before.
To be on somebody's radar.
Yeah, just before they even show up.
Well, I mean, at that point, that they've already got, for the Flag Smashers, they've already got propaganda, people heralding them as heroes and setting up closets for them to hide in and shit like that. So they didn't just happen. They've been running game for a while.
Well, I don't even know if they're setting anything up. I think that they're just naturally going to the refugee camps.
Well, what was that thing we saw last week? This is like 6 months post blip, like with the return blip.
I think so.
So I mean, if they started day one, 6 months to the start of this.
Well, I mean, he came back with a blip too, the scientist, so it probably didn't start day one, because he's got to have time to recreate his serum, and however long that takes.
Well, I mean, the Flag Smashers, like they could have started stealing stuff before they ever got the serum.
Oh yeah, I mean, I suppose, but they okay. So I guess they're stepping it up and becoming more brazen because they have the abilities. I mean,
They finally blew up a building and killed a bunch of people.
Yeah,
we haven't seen many other Flag Smashers lately. It's just the same two, the chick and I guess the dude that was in the car with her. We haven't seen that giant dude.
No, the giant dude put stuff in the van.
Okay, we did see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it looked like him. He
they
was
try to
massive.
do any lines because it's easy just to not get lines. You got to pay people.
Yeah.
No.
You got
because there's only one that's been killed, and there was 8, right? So we're down to 7.
Well, I hadn't kept him.
Because I remember there was 8, and we saw the one get killed because he
Yeah.
sacrificed himself for the plane to get away. All right.
So do you think there's still like 12 doses out there?
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, there's still some unaccounted doses.
How many?
Because he said there was 20.
How many people are in that group? I can't remember the name of because
Oh, the
Not 12.
Thunderbolts.
the
Yeah,
Thunderbolts,
5 or 6.
5 or 6. So, I mean, if you get 5 or 6 out of 5 or 6 doses left, or
They're not. I mean, it could be completely different Thunderbolts, but they're not super soldiers
no,
in the comics.
well,
I just wish there was a little bit more.
how about he says that it's subtle, and you don't get the enhanced muscles and stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's sort of cool, but it's sort of cheesy too because like they don't get enhanced muscles, but they're super strong.
Mhm.
Like that's weird. Like it's like we don't want to CG people bigger.
Well, that, and it's asking so many people to take steroids, like all the actors have done. And then
No.
you got 12 people, and
I get all
it takes
that,
a
but
lot
it's
of
like
money to
it's-
put them on
it's-
SARMs and all that kind of
it's-
stuff.
In some ways, it's better than Super Soldier Serum because like you don't have to be enhanced. Like you don't.
It's not
physically-
obvious.
Yeah, your enhancements aren't obvious. So like if you were to work out and get really strong with all your extra strength, like what would you become?